Hello and welcome to this episode of RPGGamer Top 5s, and this time we're going to do the top 5 RPGs on the Nintendo 3DS. The Nintendo 3DS is a handheld game console produced by Nintendo. It is capable of displaying stereoscopic 3D effects without the use of 3D glasses or additional accessories. Nintendo announced the console in March 2010 and officially unveiled it at E3 2010 on June 15th. The console succeeds the Nintendo DS, featuring backward compatibility with older DS titles. The handheld offers new features such as the Street Pass and Spot Pass tag modes, augmented reality using its 3D cameras, and the Virtual Console, which allows owners to download and play games originally released on older video game systems. It is also preloaded with various applications, including an online distribution store called the Nintendo eShop, a social networking service called Miiverse, which was shut down in 2017, an internet browser, the Netflix, Hulu Plus and YouTube streaming video services, Nintendo Video, a messaging application called SwapNote, known as the Nintendo Letterbox in Europe and Australia, and the Mii Maker. Nintendo began experimenting with stereoscopic 3D video game technology in the 1980s. But despite limited success, Nintendo would press ahead with 3D development into the 1990s. The creator of the Game Boy handheld console and the popular Metroid video game developed a new 3D device for Nintendo called the Virtual Boy. It was a portable tabletop system consisting of goggles and a controller that used a spinning disc to achieve full stereoscopic monochrome 3D. Released in 1995, the Virtual Boy sold fewer than 1 million units, spawning only 22 compatible game titles, and was widely considered to be a commercial failure. However, Nintendo continued to investigate the incorporation of 3D technology into other products. Another attempt was made in preparation for a virtual navigation guide to be used on the Nintendo DS at Shigariden, an interactive museum in Japan. Nintendo president encouraged additional 3D research in an effort to use the technology in the exhibition. Although the project fell short, Nintendo was able to collect valuable research on liquid crystal, which would later aid in the development of the Nintendo 3DS. The 3DS has custom components co-developed by the Nintendo Research and Engineering Department and other manufacturers, all combined into a unified system on chip. Its main central processing unit is a dual-core ARM11 MP core-based processor clocked at 266 MHz. One processor core is dedicated to games and applications, while the other core is exclusive to the operating system, enabling multitasking and background tasks. These tasks are handled seamlessly in the background during gameplay, or while the system is in sleep mode. The system also contains a single-core ARM9 based processor, enabling backward compatibility with both Nintendo DS and DSi titles. The graphics processor is a Pika 200 developed by digital media professionals running at 133 MHz. The system also contains 128 MB of random access memory, containing 128 MB of FC RAM developed by Fujitsu, with a peak bandwidth of 3.2 GB per second. The console contains two separate screens. The top screen is a 15:9 auto-stereoscopic liquid crystal display with a resolution of 800 by 240 pixels, effectively 400 by 240 pixels per eye. On the original 3DS, the screen is 90mm, while on the 3DS XL, it measures 124mm. It is auto-stereoscopic, in which it uses a parallax barrier to produce a three-dimensional effect without requiring special glasses. There's a 3D depth slider next to the screen for adjusting the 3D effect or turning it off altogether. The bottom screen is a 4:3 resistive touchscreen with a display resolution of 320 by 240 pixels. On the original 3DS, the screen measures 77mm, while on the 3DS XL it measures 106mm. The system features 3 camera sensors, 2 cameras on the outside of the device, capable of taking 3D photos and capturing 3D video, 1 camera facing the user positioned above the top screen. All camera sensors have a maximum resolution of 640 by 480 pixels, with 1-point focus, and can only achieve digital zoom. There is also a microphone in the bottom of the system. Several redesigns have been made since release. The Nintendo 3DS XL, a larger model first released in Japan and Europe in July 2012, featuring a 90% larger screen. An entry-level version of the console, the Nintendo 2DS, with a fixed slate form factor and lacking the 3D functionality, which was released in Western markets in October 2013. The new Nintendo 3DS features a more powerful CPU, a second analog stick called the C-Stick, additional buttons, an improved camera, and other changes, and was first released in Japan in October 2014. And with that massive info dump, let's get on with the countdown. At number 5, Tales of the Abyss by Namco in 2011, with 65 votes. Tales of the Abyss uses the FRLMBS, the Flex Range Linear Motion Battle System, which allows battles to take place in real time, and has game controls which are very similar to other Tales games, especially Tales of Symphonia, except with increased maneuverability. The player can attack, defend, perform a skill, or call up a menu with multiple functions, such as using items or commanding an ally to perform an action. This system allows multiplayer co-op battles, and the camera for this mode is improved over the one found in Tales of Symphonia, zooming out as characters move away from each other so that other players are now always on screen. A new feature, Free Run, allows the player character to run in any direction, unlike previous Tales games. The game features many skills and spells to unleash upon enemies, and a new addition to the system is the Field of Phonons, often abbreviated as FOF. Whenever a character uses a spell or battle technique that features an elemental alignment, a circle will appear on the ground, corresponding to that element, which allows other abilities of the same element to be used at a more powerful level. And at number 4, Shin Megami Tensei 4 by Atlas in 2013 with 80 votes. Shin Megami Tensei 4 puts the player in control of the samurai Flynn. Navigation takes place both in the third-person perspective with a 3D rendered environments and a 2D overhead overworld map. On the overworld map, icons represent the player party and enemy demons. Battles take place from a first-person perspective, with the enemy visible on the upper screen and party status and commands on the lower screen. As with other role-playing video games, the character grows stronger and advances by completing quests. They also earn Maka, an in-game currency to buy items and equipment. Some quests relate to the main story and are mandatory, while other quests are optional. Should the player be defeated, they can return to the game by spending Maka. Nintendo Play Coins can be used in place of Maka, and repeatedly dying unlocks an easy mode. In this mode, the player can flee from battle if they choose. Enemies wander the environments Flynn explores, and a battle starts when Flynn strikes an enemy, granting the player an advantage, or an enemy runs into Flynn from the side or behind, granting the advantage to the enemy, or when they run into each other head-on. In battle, the player controls Flynn and 3 demons, with one AI-controlled human support character. During battle, both player and enemy actions are governed by the turn-based press-turn system, a battle system carried over from previous entries in the series. The system revolves around exploiting physical or elemental weaknesses. If a character strikes another character's weak point or deals a critical hit, the party gains an extra turn, while if the attack is absorbed or blocked, they lose their turn. If a character strikes a weakness or gets a critical hit, there is a chance they will enter Smirk status. Smirk temporarily increases a character's damage, eliminates their elemental weaknesses, and gives them a high probability of dodging attacks. And at number 3, Pokmon X and Pokmon Y by Nintendo in 2013 with 101 votes. Pokmon X and Y are role-playing video games with adventure elements, presented in a third-person overhead perspective. They're also the first Pokemon games to include 3D functions compatible with the consoles in the Nintendo 3DS family. The player controls a young trainer who goes on a quest to catch and train creatures known as Pokemon, and win battles against other trainers. By defeating opposing Pokemon in turn-based battles, the player's Pokemon gain experience, allowing them to level up and increase their battle statistics, learn new moves, and in some cases evolve into more powerful Pokemon. Alternatively, players can capture wild Pokemon found during random encounters by weakening them in battle and catching them with Pokeballs to be added to the player's party. Players are also able to battle and trade Pokemon with other human players using the Nintendo 3DS's internet features, which are enhanced in the 6th generation games. Like with previous games in the series, certain Pokemon are only obtainable in either X or Y, keeping players encouraged to trade with others in order to obtain all the Pokemon. And at number 2, Bravely Default by Square Enix in 2012 with 116 votes. Bravely Default is a role-playing game which features a party of 4 characters navigating the fantasy world of Luxembourg. Navigation in towns, dungeons and the world of map environments are done from an angled third-person overhead view. The character remains still and the map zooms out to a distant view. These environments are displayed on the top screen of the Nintendo 3DS system, while the bottom screen displays maps of environments, party stats and other information such as item menus. On the world map, a day-night cycle alters the types of enemies present, and after a certain point in the story, an airship can be used to speed up travel and access previously inaccessible areas. In towns, players can interact with non-playable characters, purchase items or magic at specialised shops, buy or sell weapons and equipment at an armory, or rest at an inn to restore health points and magic points. In all environments, the party can find chests containing items, weapons or equipment. During certain points, a party chat option appears, giving players the option of initiating conversations between the party members. During exploration, standard enemies appear through random encounters. Outside battle, the counter rate can be adjusted from high to nothing. The game also features multiple difficulty levels, which can be adjusted freely at any time outside battle. And at number 1, Fire Emblem Awakening by Nintendo in 2012, with 130 votes. In Fire Emblem Awakening, the player begins the game as a customizable tactician avatar, and the avatar's gender, hair colour, feature types, and voice can all be customized. There are two types of play in the game, casual mode and classic mode. In classic mode, characters defeated in battle are permanently dead, unable to be used for the rest of the game. Casual mode enables the player to disable permanent character deaths. With permanent death disabled, fallen units are restored after the completion of the battle. But when Chrom or the avatar character dies in battle in any mode, the player receives a game over message and must restart the battle. The game has multiple difficulty levels. The 3 standard modes are normal, hard and lunatic. A 4th difficulty level, Lunatic Plus, is unlocked after completing the game on lunatic mode. The playing mode and difficulty level are selected at the beginning of a new game. After the player is given access to the party of characters, they can travel across a world map to both new locations and to revisit old locations. The time of day on the world map is synced to the player's time zone and time of day. New locations can contain main story missions as well as side stories where new characters can be recruited. Previously visited locations have shops where the player can acquire new weapons. They also can contain random enemy skirmishes. Between missions, players can go to a customizable central base called the Barracks, where the player can watch scenes between characters and perform other activities. The player can recruit approximately 40 characters, not including characters who are included in downloadable content. The game features multiple uses of the Nintendo 3DS exclusive Spot Pass and Street Pass functions via the world map. During navigation, the player can encounter other players and interact via Street Pass. The player can do battle with a party of up to 10 characters from another player's world. Whichever player wins the battle gains access to the party. Avatars can also be befriended or defeated in battle, and loaned out to other players using this function. And that's it for this list of the top 5 RPGs on the Nintendo 3DS. So what did you think? While I've had a couple of 3DSs, I have to admit to having not played any of these games, having spent all my time playing Zelda and a few other games. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or by getting in touch through the email or the website. Anyway, as always, many thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what we're doing, but most of all, you look after yourselves, and we'll catch you later. Bye!